that's why we came up with the most interesting acronym called the SPICE, which is about security, power, infrastructure, corruption, economy, restructuring, health, education, agriculture, and tourism. So this is what we bring on the table. And focusing on this is to achieve the bigger goal for Nigeria, which is about self-sufficiency, reliance, and then sustainability, and of course, the national security that is at the heart of every Nigerian as we battle with a lot of insurgency, with a lot of issues that are bedeviling our people. So, Omoyele Sowore and myself share the vision, the passion, the integrity, and tenacity to come head on and collide with these forces that cause problems in our country.
Well, thank you very much, candidates of the African Action Congress, Rabiu Rufai. It's my pleasure to call on the candidates of the African Democratic Party, tell us in 2 minutes what your party is all about and what you are bringing to the table in 2 minutes, please. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Ms. Ngozi, Mr. Aliu Tanko, to our sponsors, TV News, in collaboration with BBC News. To our audience, my name is Martin Kunle Olaterola. I represent the Action Democratic Party, where Engineer Yabaji Sani is our flag bearer. Our party is born out of necessity to resuscitate all the ills in Nigeria. We are the party with the logo, a book in your right hand, which actually depicting the need for education in this nation. Our party delegates 50% of all positions to women, youth, and physically challenged individuals. We believe in all inclusiveness. We believe in resuscitating everything that's wrong with Nigeria. Personally, I've studied, worked, I've created employment, a balanced budget, and so is Engineer Yabaji. So when Nigerians are going around, you cannot give your budget or the money of a country to an inexperienced individual. Engineer Yabaji has been in the dungeon. He has fought corruption. He has fought NNPC. He's a Columbia graduate and is leading Action Democratic Party. So on behalf of Action Democratic Party and everybody, who represents the ideal that we stand for, that this nation should be changed, good evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kule Oleteru Olabedi of the ADP. Next is ANN. In 2 minutes, tell us what your party stands for.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, moderator. Good evening, audience. Good evening, my fellow candidates. Good evening, my family at home. Good evening, SI and Beyond Mentors family at home and everybody watching. Good evening, Nigeria. My name is Khadija Abdullahi. I'm a lawyer, a social entrepreneur, I'm a lawyer, social entrepreneur, and a nation builder at heart. I have been non-partisan all my life until 4 months ago, when I caught the fire of ANN, Alliance for New Nigeria, in birthing a new Nigeria. All my life, I have always known that in birthing, I caught the fire of Alliance for New Nigeria, and I believe that a new Nigeria is possible. Do not allow anybody, I'm talking to all Nigerians, to know, I'm telling you that do not let anybody tell you that a new Nigeria is not possible, because I believe in a new Nigeria where the boy, no name, who lost his voice because his parents were butchered by Boko Haram, deserves a new lease of life in when we are rehabilitated to contribute effectively to a new Nigeria. I believe that that girl child who's been forced into marriage and all the over 13 million children out of school deserve access to quality education. I also believe that every Nigerian, you and I, should hold hands and abolish the ethno-religious sentiment that we have and hold hands to build a strong economy for Nigeria. And our manifesto is about this aspire.
Thank you very much. Your time is up. The only lady on the podium, the candidate of the Alliance for New Nigeria, Khadija Abdullahi. Thank you very much for that introduction. I will take the liberty, if I can, to call for a breather, a very short one, a very short break. When we come back, we'll begin to fire the questions.
Thank you.
Commence the polling centers across the country. Voting has been concluded in many polling centers and counting has begun. A word can be described as a near miss. The opposition lost to the incumbent by a single vote. Voters have been seen to go to the streets and express their strong voting.
How can anybody lose by one vote? One!
Your vote, your power.
Thank you very much and welcome. You can watch us on BBC channel 418 on DSTV and BBC Hausa, BBC Igbo, BBC Pidgin and BBC Yoruba Facebook pages online.
Absolutely, and this is the people's debate. So let the games begin. You're going to read out the areas where we're focusing on.
Yes, as we take turns in asking you questions, our focus tonight is going to be on economy, infrastructure, security, education, health, and governance.
All right, so let's start off with security, since that happens to be a major source of concern for all Nigerians and, as a matter of fact, the international community. Let's begin with, of course, in alphabetical order, with the AAC candidate, Rabiu Rufai, at the African Action Congress. Now, crisis all over this country, in every nook and cranny, you can point at where there are security threats to the country, from Zamfara banditry to the issue of herdsmen farmers clashes, and of course kidnapping, among others. Now, this has been a major challenge for Nigeria. What do you think we're not doing right, and how can you fix that problem that has turned out to be an immediate danger to Nigeria?
Okay. As you stated, the problems are quite enormous. from the northeast insurgency that we faced to the Niger Delta, and then across others, further clashes, and then of course the problems in the Delta State are quite serious. And at the moment, you realize that there is serious complacency on the side of the administration and even the previous government on how they handle insecurities. You realize that there is no justice. Justice has not been done to people. People have not been properly prosecuted. Suspects of all these crimes that perpetrated, they have not been brought to book. It is in the interest of Nigeria and our party that we have the courage, we have all it takes to actually bring justice to this. And when you disentangle the problem, you realize that there are other problems that we have not been doing. The leadership of the security forces, the military, the SSS and so on, they have not been doing the work as they should. Therefore, we'll check through. When we find them, we'll fire them. We'll have to change the structure there. We have to bring about technology in the way we use drones nowadays actually to bring information. We have to also leverage on intelligence gathering and sharing among the security forces. And then, of course, when you look at the terrorism that we face, we also have to partner with our neighboring countries and then the global community to see how we end that. Another thing is also try and rebuild the people. Let us break the cycle of these recruitment into crimes by providing jobs to our young men and women so as to leave the issues, at our own hands in a separate way so that we have a more prosperous and secure Nigeria. So when you go also down to the problem in Niger Delta, we want amnesty to be continued. We want actually the Niger Delta to be rehabilitated in terms of environmental issues to be tackled, and of course improving the capacities of people.
Thank you, Mr. Rufai of AAC. Before I ask the next question to the ADP candidate, I want to clear a statement made by Khadija Mohammed Iya. Abdullahi Iya, I beg your pardon. You claim that we have 13 million out-of-school children in Nigeria.
Yes.
But according to UNICEF, in October 2018, there are about 10.5 million Nigerians aged between 5 and 14 that are not in school.
Okay.
So the next question goes to the ADP candidate, Mr. Kule. In terms of security, some people are calling for the sacking of security chiefs. IDPs are protesting in Maiduguri. They don't have enough food. They are not well secured. And crises all over the place. Boko Haram, herders and farmers, Zamfara bandits and things like that.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I don't need to go down to everything that you have stated because all Nigerians have heard it. Everything that's happening in Nigeria begins with leadership. We have an inept leadership right now. When I was growing up, even if my neighbor dies or somebody down the street, we hurt. But now, I'll go back to leadership. When you see accidents or people are dying, and not even Boko Haram, people are so insensitive, they start taking pictures. What is so funny or what's so nice about dead body that we have not seen? So it's all about leadership. It doesn't matter if you are from east, west, north, and south. When in Nigeria breeds or bleeds, the government, particularly the leadership, should bleed. So what do you do about it? We have disgruntled military personnel. All the soldiers, the army, military, and so forth, they are still there. You need to remove those who were there when President Jonathan was there, promote the new ones so that you give them a new breed of enthusiasm. You know, they are there, they're still. Now then you turn around and look at what people are doing about it. We don't become reactive, we become proactive. If something catches you unaware, you go ahead and start training for it. What I've seen with our military is hazing, terrorizing our people on the streets. What are they doing about our borders? People can never sleep with two eyes closed. So whatever is happening in Zamfara, even though I'm from Ondo State, it's happening to me as well. Under the leadership of YY Sani, we will make sure that we form alliances with people not only in West Africa, but in other areas where they are being terrorized joint exercises with US, UK, etc., so that we can fight terrorism. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, candidate of the ADP, Now to you, ma'am. The candidate of the ADP has said there is a need to be proactive and that the shock value is lost on us. We're no longer shocked when we hear numbers of people killed in different parts of the country, like they're just numbers, but these are real human beings that belong to families. What exactly do you think is at the root of the security challenges we're facing, and what solutions will you bring to bear?
Increasing our territorial integrity, we need to have a border security. And in doing that, what we need to do first is to encourage community policing, re-equip the security agencies. Another thing an FD-led government will do is to ensure that there's establishing a department for homeland security that is routing information sharing together so that everybody will have knowledge of the proliferation of arms coming into the country. One of the things, I remember that our present president mentioned sometime back about coming in through Niger from Libya. And I'm asking the question, if they know these arms are coming in through Niger, what have they done so far? I think that one of the best things that we need to do is to have an alliance with the neighboring countries and ensure that our territorial conjugal, that's the seaways that come into Nigeria, all the borders must be well secured. And to ensure that also other things we are going to do in an FD-led government is to ensure that the security officials are given incentives and upgraded. They are giving wages, their packages are redefined and upgraded so that they will know that they're secured enough. Whatever happens to them, their families are well taken care of. Thank you.
Thank you, Khadija Abdullahiya of ANN. And of course, I'll go back to Ahmed Rufai, who's talking about, we're still going to ask you on security, but this time around we want to be more specific to Zamfara State, where there are bandits killing people on daily basis. What is going on according to your own understanding of this issue, and how can it be resolved?
You realize that this issue has been happening over the last couple of years in Zamfara State, and we have not seen anybody being prosecuted in court. We have not seen justice being done. These guys that are there causing a lot of mayhem are going with such level of impunity. So we are actually deeply concerned. Even yesterday there was scores of people that were killed as a result, and it has now started infiltrating other states like Sokoto and Katsina. So you realize that the state actually is an APT state. The defense minister is from that state. If you can't call this failure, then I don't know what success looks like. It is in our own interest and the interest of this country to fix the problem before it gets out of hand. And definitely, we are going to ensure that more training for our police, we give them the right equipment. We also try to see that the whole area is being searched and surveilled on daily basis. We took a tour during our campaigns in the Northeast, from Jibia down to Talata, Mafra, and Sokoto. We could not see a police, and we passed through about 3 to 4 local governments in a matter of about 4 hours. What is happening? Just because these people have gold deposits in their soil is actually a cause to invite insurgency and terrorists to occupy their land because there is a weak government there. It is the interest of our party, the tenacity, the consistency to see that no corruption, no killing actually is allowed without being brought to book. That is what we want to do, and that is what our interest is.
Okay, thank you very much, the candidate of the AAC. To you, the candidate of the ADP, I have not heard any of you gentlemen or the lady talk about how exactly you plan to fund anti-insurgency and, to fight all the security challenges that we have. Everybody seems to know what the issues really are, but how to go about solving them, especially funding the security apparatus. How do you plan to do that? ADP.
Thank you so much.
Kindly on the mic, please.
The problem.
Oh, turn it on. Raise it up. Is it on? Is the blue light on, please? Okay.
Yeah.
Just raise it towards your mouth, please. Thank you, so that we can hear you well. Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please. It's still not on. It's still not on. Is the blue light? Oh, wow. Okay. Let's carry on. Carry on that. Let's see if we can.
I'm turning the volume.
Yes.
Is it better?
Yes. You need to speak directly
Into the. Yes.
Okay. Is that better?
Yes.
So what I was saying is what Nigeria has relied on for years is oil and gas. The problem is the leadership. There's leakage. Right now we don't know how much oil is coming in, how much is going out in this computer age where you can sit in your office and monitor, what's going on in the terminal. Nigeria is doing it manually, recording it. And you have some people outside of this nation telling us that they don't want us to put metering. They want it to be done with hand because the leadership allowed it. Engineer Yabaji Sani, who I represent, has been dealing with oil and gas since 1983. He put in place certain measures to do that. This government came, they swap it out. They did not replace it with anything. So what do we do? You take the surplus from this oil and gas and build the entire area, east, west, north, and south, because Nigeria is endowed with a lot of, we're endowed with a lot of minerals. So including this insurgencies, let me give you one thing. Egypt is the number 2 recipient of arms and ammunition from the United States. They don't pay a penny. They struck the accord in 1966 after the war. 67 war with Israel. When the United States equipped Israel, they also asked for the same thing, that before they stop the war, they want to be receiving arms. So when the United States or UK or anybody say we are number 1 police for Africa, we need to strike something there and say, okay, for us to do that, we want to be doing joint preparation, joint training with you guys. We want to share intelligence. And by the way, we want some of the hardware that we would be using to train. That's one thing. Secondly, you can also use our surplus from all these arms and ammunition. How can UK call you, United Nations call you to go to Rwanda or to go to Sierra Leone or to go somewhere else? Ask them, you want your equipment to be updated to 21st century equipment. I happen to know some military leaders, who told me that even our plane does not have radar. That's why people are dropping like flies.
Thank you very much, the Vice Presidential candidate for the African Democratic Party, Action Democratic Party, ADP. So next is the ANN Party, Hajia Hadiza Abdullahi here. Khadija, sorry. So,
I'm getting my name wrong. Abdullahi Khadija.
Really sorry, apologies.
So that's fine.
All right. So Khadija Abdullahi here. I got it right.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Good. So in your first statement on security, you made mention of collaboration with neighboring states.
Yes.
Presently, there is the MNNJTF, the Multinational Joint Security Task Force for the Lake Chad Basin, where you have Nigeria, Cameroon, Chad. So what do you intend to do differently that is not done now to address the security challenges? How can you fund this security collaboration you are calling for?
One of the things that were our Aspire document, because I didn't get to talk about Aspire document, we will do is a boost of economy through the 774 local government commercial hubs that we're talking about. So we know that there will be a lot of liquidity when that takes off. So other things we're going to do, that's one of the avenues for funding. avenue for funding. When you're talking about what can we do differently, what we can do differently is not to just collaborate with the immediate people at our borders. We're also going to have an international, like he rightly stated. There are grants that have been given on security. There are grants, there are monies that have been kept on security. Those are things that we will try to access. And we know definitely that we and trying to reduce our own government spending to route it into the issues of security would ensure that we're able to raise enough revenue. Political will is key. Well, when the political will is there, wherever the money is going to come out from will go for Haram or their life.
Of security. I'd like to give all three of you 1 minute each to talk about a real solution. Are you saying then that the military solutions, or are there other solutions that you can give us in 1 minute, please? Let me begin. Okay,
can I
Hadia?
Last time we went to Maiduguri, we found out that of that community. You tell the person, yes, the leader, then you tell the person that you have come. We have abandoned all that. Another thing we're going to do is to strengthen the traditional institution and ensure that those things are put in place. Every northern state, because most of the security challenges coming from, there's one by profile in different places. So we put up all those gates, so that when people come in, you go and meet the traditional people and ensure that they are there. That's one of the things you are going to do. And then engage the community and then sensitize them on people coming into there. That's one thing we are going to do.
All right, thank you, Khadija. Our question is that we want you to be specific in telling us, are you in support of dialogue or using force to bring an end to insurgency and insecurity in Nigeria, starting with ADP?
Well, since these people are like ghosts, who do you dialogue with? If one eye is open, you don't even know. The worst of it is that people who are being killed don't know their offenses. What have they done? You can't farm in your own home. So what you say here, community policing, then, whatever we have to do on the border patrol. I don't know why we have so many barracks inside Abuja when they should be all around our border. It starts with the leadership. So again, I'm saying Nigeria is going to other nations to be their forces there. How come we cannot do it here? It's the leadership. Deploy all the military people to go out there, then engage the community. Be your brother's keeper. Don't say because something is going on in Zamfara, and if you're a whistleblower next door state, you go ahead and tell them. So we'll be proactive.
So are you going to use force or dialogue?
Combination, sir. Combination. But you cannot have dialogue with people you don't know. You understand?
Okay.
If Cameroon declares war on Nigeria, we have dialogue.
All right.
I don't have an address for.
Thank you very much, Mr. Now to your court. We need to get a good perspective of this. 3,500 people lost their lives needlessly last year alone, in 2018. As a matter of fact, Nigeria has been described as a killing field. Now, what do you think is that solution, that permanent, sustainable solution? Would it be military or what other?
Let me tell you something. Last year, I think the hardest part of clashes actually, there were more casualties as a result, which has some security actually approach to it, but there are non-military or non-actually security approach, because it's about clash of, two parties that are interested in resources, meaning the land. 20% of this land has been grabbed by the Boko Haram, pushing farmers into serious, constraints and difficulties. Hence, you have to have a way, and that is our party. We are going to put resources in place to see that newer technologies are being used for agriculture. We are going to introduce commercial ranching so as to prevent these clashes from happening. We are also interested in contending with the climate change to adapt to it. It has been happening in other countries in the Sahel. Why not Nigeria? Create more infrastructure, dams. Actually, these will now reduce the clashes between farmers and herders.
Thank you very much, Rabiu Rufai of AAC.
All right, it's time for us to move on to other issues, whether the live audience as well as people watching from home and abroad, are satisfied with the answers that you've given as far as security is concerned. Will be seen as time goes on. Let's move on to the economy. Like a lot of people would say, it's all about the economy. So now the numbers, the statistics out there are quite scary for a lot of people. Nigeria is the capital, poverty capital of the world. You have an unemployment rate, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, that is almost 21%. More than half of the youth population is unemployed, specifically about 55% or so. Young people unemployed. The same young people make up about 55% of the total population of Nigeria, which stands at about 193 right now. How do you plan? What are the strategies that you have in place? Candidates of the Alliance for New Nigeria, Hajia Khadija, let me start with you. What strategies does your party have to fix the Nigerian economy?
Thank you very much for that question. One of the unique things we're going to put in place is to ensure that we have special economic zones in the 774 local government areas in Nigeria. And as we are putting in place these zones, what we are also going to do differently is to revive the commodity board that used to exist in the 60s, and to ensure that that commodity board is set up consisting of the value chain addition, which means we're going to put in place the manufacturing, processing, storage, and packaging and distribution in that community board. And we'll also ensure that additionally we'll strengthen SOM and NAFDA we strengthen it to the point that they will stop the policing war and incentivize them to regulate properly all these commodities that we're going to put in the capital market. That way, we know that there are more economic activities going on, and we know that every product in the every agricultural product can compete favorably in the capital market. So, in essence, putting all these things together will ensure that we are taking care of the foreign exchange earnings, we are taking care of the GDP, unemployment, and also we are taking care of the urban-rural migration. Urban-rural migration is one of the things that a lot of people are not looking at. If people can stay in their communities and develop their communities, if they have all their
ADP's vice presidential candidate, still talking about economy. There is this controversy about the minimum wage, 30,000. It's before the National Assembly. What is your take on this? How can the minimum wage make more Nigerians or lift more Nigerians out of the poverty line, because at the moment, 80% of Nigerians are living below the poverty line.
So much. To even put it in perspective, average Nigerians living, even those who are working, they are living on less than $2 a day, or a month rather. So what we need to do with the economy to begin with, minimum wage. Under the Yabaji administration of our ADP, we will move the minimum wage to 100,000 naira. Because the cost of living has to be commensurable with your wage. If you don't take care of that, that's how you start all this cheating and all this 419, etc. So you have to take care of that. And how do you take care of that? Remember what I talked about, the cash cow. You cannot fund all these things if you don't have no money. We keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. MSF have warned us. APC has left us. All the monetary organizations have exited. They keep telling our president that this is not the way to go. He's not listening. And the people that surround himself, they are not listening. So you take what you are making out of that area, you develop your road infrastructure. I'm an architect. So when you start developing roads, under the Yabaji administration, we link the entire Nigeria. We are dying needlessly on our roads. So bridges are built, designers are working, people who are selling products, like people who are selling materials, they are making money. Then we are living under the equator. We cannot be consuming solar products. We should be solar manufacturer, the best in the world. You go into education, we shore all our educational institutions so that we start producing. We don't make anything in Nigeria. It's a crying shame. It starts with the leadership. You go into transportation, you go into the crude oil that I talked about, manufacturing, airport. You can generate so much money in the from the airport, more than the economic sector, because our main location in the world is so close to North Africa, South Africa, up to Europe and to Asia. So if you develop our airport and make it the hub of African landing and taking off, you make money when the plane lands.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kunle Olatunji, the Vice Presidential candidate of the ADP. Let me take you to the Vice Presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, of course, in the person of Rabiu Rufai. Mr. Olatunji believes that 100,000 naira is the ideal minimum wage. Taking it from there, do you think that is where the solution to Nigeria's economy lies? Would 100,000 naira cut it? Do you think that it is a well thought out conclusion that 100,000 naira is ideal for the Nigerian worker today, considering the prevailing situation? But really the question is, how will you fix the Nigerian economy? Pull people out of poverty, as we are the poverty capital of the world?
Congress has now found a partner. We have been the first party to push the agenda of, we don't call it, by the way, minimum wage. We call it living mark. You realize an average, family man with 4 kids is likely to have food, shelter, and medication, school for his children. So when you do the math, at least on daily basis, you need to feed your family with 1,000 naira, and that is 30,000 already. You need money also to pay the rent, which will be around 200,000, a decent house per annum. So when you put all this together, you realize that even that for the beginning of our term, as we go on into our administration, we are going to increase this wage. That's what we are. You said this is a solution? Yes, of one. There are other solutions. We are going to turn Nigeria into a construction site because we are going to inject jobs into infrastructure. We are interested in creating 2.5 million jobs in the infrastructure, roads, railway, sanitation, water, and so on. And at the end of the 5-year term, we are interested in creating 5 million jobs. Do you know where such jobs will come from? We are going to employ 160 primary health care workers to work in our local hospitals. We are going to employ teachers, 200,000 of them, which we are going to distribute across the country. 200 per local government. And then the remaining, because when you do the math, it's going to give you 160. teachers. The 40,000 are going to be redistributed in areas where there are existing deficits. When you do this
for New Nigeria, do you think the latitude to effect some of these policies that will turn around the economy for good?
Thank you for your question.
You can actually leave your mics on, please. Thank you very much.
Please, can you come back again? You said something.
My question is, the present structure of the economy, and of course the fact that Nigeria remains a monoproduct economy, highly dependent on oil when it comes to revenue. Would this present structure allow you to effect whatever strategies that you have in place to turn around the economy?
I doubt it. That's why it's not working. Like you mentioned, we have a population rate that is about 3% growing, and then we have our GDP about 1.8 working. Of course, it's not even balanced at all. So what we're looking at the mineral resources in different states. We're looking at making them marketable and routing them into the capital market and ensuring that each product can compete favorably and ensure, like I mentioned earlier. But what I'm saying is, why have we not invest in a place like Jos that has like 56 mineral resources? We have a place like Kaduna State, like Nasarawa, which has up to 23 mineral resources. We have so many of these places. There's no local government in Nigeria that doesn't have something. So what we are saying is, if we want to change the economy, we have to increase the interplay of economic activities in the country, and we have to start from the grassroots. When we do that, I'm very, very sure that our economy will boost, and we will have no business being the poverty capital of the world.
Thank you very much, Khadija Abdullahi. I will now move to Mr. Kule Olabe. So, in the past, there were several social intervention programs in Nigeria, NAPED, Shopee, so many. And the present government has rolled out Empower, Trader Money, and others. So, your own party, ADP, do you have any social intervention program in mind that when you are able to rule this country, you would roll out a program that will alleviate sufferings of Nigerians?
Thank you for your question. Let me quickly go back to what we said before. You now say, everybody is talking about pie in the sky. How can you invest without money? We were borrowing and borrowing. They forgave our last loans. They won't do it again. These people have left us. They have left us. So that's why I keep saying Nigeria is inundated with God-given gifts. We didn't earn it. We met oil here. We met gas here. Number 3 in the world in gas. So we should be gas capital of the world. We should use the residue, the leftover things that were made from this oil to invest in these other places. The reason that all these people vacated Nigeria is because of their confidence in the leadership. Engineer Yabaji Sani has been there. He has done it. He graduated from an Ivy League university, one of the top universities in the world. I did the same thing. A school where I've seen it in practice. You don't forgive anybody who has stolen. Let's stop calling him 419 wherever. They are thieves. Call them thieves, and if you don't put them in jail, they'll keep on doing it over and over again. So if you don't punish a thief, he's going to come back again. So under the Yabaji administration, we plug the leaks and use the residual to develop everything else that we have.
Hey, thank you very much, candidate, the vice presidential candidate of the ADP, Mr. Kule Olagbegi. A final one, and I'd like all 3 of you to answer this question in 1 minute. The debt profile of the nation is hitting astronomical levels, about 22 trillion, if my memory serves me right. Let me give it to the candidates of the African Action Congress.
You can see that paralysis is actually also due to poor governance and lack of, the capacity we have to create growth within our country so as to be self-sufficient and sustainable. And that is why we are going to close the leakages we have in corruption. Nigeria is being hemorrhaged 5 to 6 billion on an annual basis as a result of that. We have not been able to attract foreign investors to come and actually put plants and factories on our country so as to have our GDP on the higher side. We have not also been able to create the economy that would kickstart itself. What we have seen in this administration is vote buying in the name of investment. They should have started this the day they were sworn in office, not when election is around the corner. You keep sharing 10,000 naira to people. For us to really deal with it, we need to have a very robust economy in this country.
All right, thank you very much. So my question has to do with debt profile, but you just spoke to the issue of trader money, which has become more or less a controversial issue.
Yep, indeed, especially at this point in time because of the elections in the next few days, so some political parties are thinking that, why now?
Exactly. All right, so the candidates of the Action Democratic Party, very quickly, 1 minute you have, to how do we pull Nigeria out of this debt hole?
The way you do it again is that leadership. Success begets success. If people are pulling out of Nigeria, you are sending signal that that's not a place to do business. When you borrow a loan, remember the word borrow, it's loan. You don't borrow a loan and pocket it. You don't borrow a loan and start living a life of luxury overseas. You deal with those individuals who are responsible. How can I be a legislator and enact a law and I say, well, I'm going with what they call immunity? Immunity for what? Prisons are not made for poor people. They are made for jailbreakers. So the moment you start punishing those people who are responsible, you will calm things down, investors will start coming to Nigeria, and then you are able to do things adequately. We cannot be asking people to forgive our loans. We should be loaning people for all these amenities that we have all around us. Get the gasoline money, the crude oil money, use it to develop the other area. Enough is enough. Everybody is guilty by keep on voting the same people in over and over. Vote Action Democratic Party. See what we can do in 100 days.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your time is up. Khadija Abdullahi here of ANN. So in terms of the debt profile, the past administrations, especially the Obasanjo administration, went to Paris Club and there was debt forgiveness and we were able to pay our debts and now we are back. So what is going to be your option? How are you going to tackle the issue of Nigeria's debt?
I think, thank you for the question. I think that is a responsibility. It is a responsibility that causes all this kind of issues. If you're responsible enough and know what you are tying the next generation into by taking loans, when you know that there are other ways, there are other avenues to manage and to nurture the resources that we have in Nigeria. Nigeria doesn't have any business in poverty capital at all. If every resource in this country is well harnessed, and the excess crude account that used to be there saved us at some point. What we are supposed to do is to ensure that it's being revived and upgraded, and we need to also know that we cannot continue taking on the debt profile issue in Nigeria has to stop. And I think that people should be prosecuted when you take loans. Yes, when you take loans, and you need to show where those loans are going. There has to be transparency and credibility in the operation of governments in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Vice presidential candidates of the AAC, the AGP, and of course the ANN laying out their plans for Nigeria if they do get it when the elections come right around the corner. It's right here with us. Okay, we'll take a short breather so that we can chew on some of the things that you have said. It's a good place to take a short break, and when we come back, still more questions for you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take that break. Stay with us.
protect your vote. One love. Let's make Nigeria great again. Thank you very much.
Nigeria. First, accurate, reliable.
Hi. Hi. She's a history of it. You have a lot of friends. Yes, I do.
Thank you. Who is back? Hey, constituency project. That was
This man was the 2020 Equatorial District. He finished the president months ago, and then he took that thing. Madam, that is not new. Then you get anxious around.
all I asked was constituency project under their fire. See, I haven't got to my reference from fire for my wife. That will be there. I will have to give you some more.
I think the revenue mobilization allocation and fiscal commission should reduce the amount this National Assembly members earn and also ensure their own free capacity. You're very, very correct. Nigerian citizens should demand accountability. For me, it's a test.
On both sides, it's a test.
Have you cut down? Have you tightened your belt? Have you led by example?
Some answers just will do.
You haven't provided an explanation that would justify your former principle.
But after the drill,
The Minister of Information and yes, the Minister of Agriculture, and you intend to diversify the economy.
I hope we are not arguing. There's a hard compromise.
You leave me in no doubt of your position on these issues. Thank you very much for your time.
That gives you a clear picture of the issue.
So are you telling me that the no voter on issue of constitution?
Fire, unbiased, unabashed, unrelenting.
On TBC News.
You see, fear can be good. If it doesn't freeze you and stop you from taking action. Doubt can also be good. It forces you to weigh your options carefully before taking action. But the real tragedy, my friend, is to allow fear and doubt deny you of the opportunity to be part of deciding who the leaders of this country will be in the coming election. We cannot afford it. The consequences are too great. Your vote is your inalienable right. Every generation has the opportunity to remake their work. Hire those who are giving you a visa with the 3 C's of competence, capacity, and character. Be a part of the better. Thank you.
Why not join us at 5 p.m. Mondays through Fridays for journalist hangout as we discuss issues of politics, economy, and security that affect Nigeria. Journalist hangout, showing PBC News Nigeria.
Welcome back. This is People's Debate, jointly organized by GBC, BBC Africa, and Enough.
Yes, indeed. All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and audience that have been cooperated so far as our candidates from the AAC, ADB, and of course ANN have been laying out their plans if they get to govern or rule, if you like, this great nation of ours. Now let's move on to the issue of education. Education, of course, is vital for human, economic, and cultural development. Any kind of development you want to talk about, education is the very foundation that you require. If anything, any policy of government is to work. Now, Nigeria has the unenviable position of having the highest number of out-of-school children. It's very much out there. The figures vary between 10 million and 14 million children are out of school right now. And more than half of the population cannot read or write. And you have a situation where only about 46% of students actually pass the West African Examination Council. And of course, you have ASU on strike and all kinds of strikes going on in the education sector. Now the question is a very simple one. Do you even know where we are education-wise? And what is the way forward? What will your party be doing? Let me start with the Action Democratic Party, Mr. Kunle Olaterola. How will you fix the education problem?
Thank you so much. Anybody who's somebody has been through a teacher. We have to start by respecting the higher institution. We have to revamp all our curriculum. The antiquated curriculum needs to be revamped. We need to come with junior colleges. There are curriculums where you don't have to even go to a 4-year education. For instance, now, I touched on what the airport can do for us. There's no way in West Africa where you have aircraft maintenance. That's only 12 months. 12 months. That's where our aircraft are dropping like birds. You know, because there are some things to be put in place that you service when it's necessary. You don't keep pushing and pushing and pushing. So we revamp research. MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, has had over 400 new innovative inventions. That's billions of dollars. So our government needs to put credence in education. Like I said, anybody who's somebody has been through a teacher. Now, research is one thing, then the curriculum. Now, what you also do now, you don't disrespect the teachers. They need to make what they need to, what they are making. Then you clamp down on the students. Make sure that people should go to school for 4 years. They are there for 7, 8 years. That all begins because the administration or the previous administration, they don't put credence in education. They don't see the importance of education. And that's where everything is eroding. I think Ford Motor Company started in 1914 or thereabouts. The Wright brothers started manufacturing airplanes in the 20s. And the US went to the moon in 1960. We haven't done nothing. Are we proud of it? We have to start manufacturing. When you manufacture, you employ people. When you employ people, you sell your product. When you sell your product, then the morale is lifted. You know, then after we do all this, we start promoting Made in Nigeria. There's nothing wrong with Made in Nigeria. We just have to reorientate everybody.
Yeah, your time is up, and of course, we would appreciate if you be specific, you know, in telling us what you can offer in terms of, you know, changing the narrative, changing the current trends. So next is we are going to continue on the education. So UNESCO recommends that governments should allocate at least 26% of the federal budget to the education sector. In Nigeria, consistently, governments have been allocating less than 10%.
Yes.
So, is your party worried about this?
Yes.
What's going to be the allocation of the education sector when you are able to win elections next 2 weeks?
Thank you for the question. I want to answer what she said something. Why are we where we are today on education? I'd say something. The past politicians have been politicking without planning. They never put into consideration that they need to plan about education, about health, about all the social services and amenities that we need to do. They've never thought about that. They just come into power without thinking of how urgent these things are and how to feed a population of over 190 million.
Yeah, so what are your plans?
So what our plans are going to be? Number one, we're going to do the TIT, that's the training teachers training and retraining teachers, infrastructure, and we are going to also talk about curriculum overhaul. What we are passionate about is the grassroots. We want to ensure that the 774 local government areas in Nigeria have proper public school system. And as they are having that public school system, they are upgraded for a conducive learning environment. We make sure that every child is not left behind. Every child must have proper education in a conducive learning environment. We must also ensure that teachers that are going to be sent into those local governments are incentivized. They are given higher wages so that they will be motivated to go there. We are also going to make sure that we are having a proper curriculum overhaul to ensure that they are ready for the society when they come out. We want a knowledge-driven society. So we are concerned about driving that knowledge-driven society from the grassroots. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Now to the candidate of the African Action Congress, Rabiu Rufai. How will you fix the education problem? There is a clear and present danger in Nigeria's education sector, whether it's at the primary level, the secondary, or the tertiary level. Right now, you have the Academic Staff Union of Universities on strike.
We are quite aware. You realize that in our manifesto, the E there in the spice line is to spice the whole thing, meaning education. We are passionate about it. Sowore and I enjoy being educated. He has a Columbia degree. I have a degree in University of Leeds. But this shouldn't be just left with us. It should be, spread. It's a privilege we've gotten. Without education in the southwestern Nigeria, Sowore would have been a palm wine tapper. I would have been the worst Almajiri in the north of Nigeria. Look at the funding. It is too meager. We have over 100 million children in school age in Nigeria, but our budget is only 450 billion naira. Which, when you do the math, you realize you only spend 4,500 naira per child per annum in this country.
What would be your own allocation to education if you have?
Well, we are going to increase the budget, double it, so that it's 10% of our budget, and then progressively we keep increasing until we reach the subscription of UNESCO, which is to have 26%. Let this education be relevant, impactful, and then competitive. And that's why we will raise up to the university education. We have over 10 million children roaming our streets that are out of school in the name of Almajiri. We are going to mop up off the street. We are going to put them in school so that the next best Quranic reciter is going to be from Nigeria, and then he can also go to the moon. This is what this country should be about. And then council strike that has been coming in Stephen almost every year. You see one or two of such kind, and not only that, in Polytechnic, we are going to have the right temperament to, give leadership the political will, so that no strike will be seen in our administration.
Thank you very much, Rabiu Rufai of the AAC. We've been able to talk about security, economy, and education. Now, the next theme is health. The Nigerian health sector is said to be in intensive care. Brain drain in the sector, specifically mass exodus of doctors to Europe and America. The Nigerian Medical and Dental Consultants Association is quoted as saying about 600 to 700 doctors are leaving Nigeria every year. How do you plan to stem this? I'll start with the ANN party.
Thank you very much for the question. Like education, health is very important. We have allocated, when the FD-led government comes, we are allocating 10% of the budget to health. Why? We're looking at the same kind of program model we are having for education. In 774 local governments, we want to incentivize doctors to go into these communities. I'll give you an example. In 2014 or 2015, we went to a community called Tipto, where we met a health official. He didn't know anything. He does not know anything about health. He went to a nearby town, made sure that he got a little experience. Now, at that community center, he became the midwife, he became the cleaner and the accountant there. That is not acceptable. Right now, we have less than 20% of community centers cut across all Nigeria. We need to upgrade that. We need to equip them and make sure that we have very good equipment taken into those communities and ensure that every community in Nigeria has. This will curb infant mortality rate. This will curb a lot of issues. And that's for others, ensure that aside from taking doctors inside and building community health centers, NHIS, we want to ensure that everybody has access to NHIS. So those are the things that we plan to do. There's more, but my time is almost up.
Well, you have about 41 seconds to go. Thank you very much for keeping it short and simple. To the candidate of the ADP, we have barely 5 minutes to go. Very quickly, I'm going to put your thoughts across. Let me ask you the same question. Huge migration of doctors out of Nigeria and the United States. 70% of African American doctors are Nigerian. We have the highest infant mortality, maternal mortality in the world. HIV prevalence, mother-to-child transmission is still very high, about the highest in the world. How do you plan to fix education health?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. Real quickly, let me go back to education. Then I use
health, please.
Yeah.
Health.
We'll go to health. I just led a group of people to go to Mabuchi High School to paint and to read to students. So you lead by example.
Speak into your mic, please.
I'm saying you lead by example. You know, I'm not too big to get my hands dirty. I just went to Mabuchi Elementary School, along with some youth that some people call lazy. They're not lazy, they need innovation, they need leadership. They followed me to Mabuchi, we painted the school, we gave some provisions to the students, and then we have another one later where we're going there to read. That's education, that's where we have logos.
Yeah, but it's painting the schools enough to turn improve the quality of education.
Start, man, we don't have budget.
It's a good place to start.
Okay. We don't have the budget.
All right, go ahead and address the issue of health.
Now on health, I led a group of people to go donate blood. Even before I was vice presidential candidate. It's called Attitude of Volunteerism at National Hospital here in Abuja. They said it's not possible. I was on it for 2 months and I led people to go ahead and do it. Health, you don't wait till you are sick to go seek a doctor. It's called preventive maintenance. That's why people just drop there. They say, oh, he's been walking around, they don't know what happened to him. You know, I'm not saying there are not accidents, but you need to know and prevent it before it starts. Now, what you just alluded to, I was in a fundraiser in Atlanta, Georgia. 250 graduating students out of the University of Ibadan, including their pharmacists. Only about 5% is left in Nigeria. Okay. So what do we do with this thing? You first of all give them a conducive environment where they can breathe, where they can make research.
Okay, I'm afraid we'll have to put you on hold. Let me quickly take you to African Action Congress candidate, vice presidential candidate. How do you plan to fix health? Can you do that in about 2 minutes?
Okay, my time.
Go ahead, please.
Fantastic. You realize that you mentioned doctors living abroad. What of the last people? Physiotherapists. It's a whole, actually, multi-professional discipline, and they are living. One, you look at it, the budget is high, doctors, pharmacists, nurses are living, but we end up with a very weak health system. So, our party has this as intervention. First, we will improve by giving more funds into the sector. We are going to actually reverse the inverse care law so that we have a perfect square. Most of the resources are at tertiary center, while most of the diseases are the rural areas. Last year, there was a standard declaration which says primary health care is still relevant. And that's where we are aiming to employ 160,000 primary health care workers to work across all the 774 local government in this country. And of course, are going to be trained and actually improve the training of our health workforce environment so that doctors don't have the urge to leave for greener pastures abroad, meaning give them autonomy, give them more remuneration, try and improve the working environment, bring more gadgets so as to improve our diagnosis.
That's the Fulio Lateral Language Act and the Vice Presidential candidate of the ANN Alliance for you very much for conducting yourself in the most ASU, yes, that's good news. ASU, we hear that we called out its strike temporary. Yes.
Thank you very much. 30 seconds of my time.
Yes, unfortunately, like they say, life ain't fair. Would like you to shake hands in spite of the fact that you did not fight, you did not quarrel.
We can do it. We're very
Thank you very much. And very big thank you to our live audience here in the hall. Now you can put your hands together for yourself. Thank you very much. We do appreciate it. On behalf of my co-anchor,
Rabiu Rufai
of the BBC, thank you very much. My name is Ngozi and label CBC News. It's been a pleasure anchoring this people's debate. We wish you all the very best. And like we always say, God bless Nigeria.
Thank you. Make sure you vote for ANN.
Thank you.